Okay, hi everybody. I'm Dr. Robert Cluley.
And I'm Dr. Anastas Parasklis.
In these videos we're going to be using R, which is an open source statistics package which allows you to do some really high level statistics, but we're going to think about some of the more common statistical tests that are used in branding and advertising research.
Yeah, so we're going to be using the test data files that we have already uploaded in the relevant sections on Moodle, and we'll be going through the different analysis to see how you can actually run them on R and what kind of results you get and how you can interpret them.
Yeah, so let's quickly talk about R a little bit. So
Yeah.
Tassos knows less about R than me.
Yeah, so
I know less about stats than Tassos.
So yeah, I was kind of scared, Robert, because like SPSS is something I've been using for years, and coding seems a bit difficult.
Yeah, I get that. So R has a couple of benefits over SPSS and some of the packages that you've used and students might have used before. One, it's free.
Yeah.
So when you were not at university, you could use it.
Yeah, and you can install it everywhere from what I know. So.
Yeah, so it literally, if you just go to your favourite search engine, type R download, you get to the R page eventually, and you can just download a copy of it. It doesn't really involve any skills if you can download any app for your computer or any bit of software like Skype or whatever.
Yeah.
Any open source software, it's exactly the same. Just download a file, press execute. Here you go. There you go. Right, and there's really one of the great things about R is it's not run by a company. It's run by users.
Yeah.
So people write some really nice tutorials, and there's really nice documentation explaining how to do basic things with it. The other really great thing about R, which is again different from SPSS, because it's open source, people can innovate all the time.
Yeah.
So anybody can create kind of a little bit of R code, which they can share with anybody else. So if somebody's got some really new, innovative analysis technique, they can share it with everybody, and you can use it. You don't have to wait for the next version of SPSS to be released in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
The other great thing about R is it's really used and has been developed by mathematicians.
So
you can do some probably more high level statistical analysis. So depending on what you want to do, there's an R package for pretty much everything.
Cool.
And it gives you a lot more options than SPSS often does.
Cool.
So once you've downloaded a copy of it, there's different ways of interacting with R. Again, because it's open source, people develop their own ways of doing things.
Okay.
This is the way I've been doing it, which is through a really basic console where you type things and do things.
Yeah.
And then you can get things to be done to the things that you want to do.
Okay.
Like if you type things correctly,
yeah,
R's going to do things.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's that simple. Perhaps it was a good time to talk about some basics of using R.
Yeah.
Coding is not something to be scared of. All coding is computers need you to talk to them in a certain way.
Okay. And
once you know the way to talk to them, you can tell them to do anything you want. And that's the great thing, which I like about R, is actually the code there's a style to it, but once you know the style, it's not actually that difficult to decipher. So there's different types of things in R. The most basic is a vector, and you can create a vector yourself. So let's just create one. So let's have a vector which is just the number 1.
Okay.
So now we have this vector. So whenever we talk about vector, R knows we're talking about the number 1.
Okay.
So we could say vector plus 10. Right?
Okay.
So what's it going to do? It's going to say vector plus 10 is
going to add things.
11.
Yeah.
But look at this. If we then just say, okay, so what's vector now? What do you think it's going to be?
1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as far as it knows, vector is always 1.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting about things like R, if you can get it to do things to vectors or objects which already exist, even if they've got the same name.
Okay.
So if we now say we're going to create a new vector called vector,
Yeah.
based on the old vector called vector, and we want it to be plus 10.
Okay.
So now what's vector going to be?
11.
Oops. Where's it gone?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vector is 11. And then you could go vector multiplied by 2.
Okay. So that'd be 22. Yeah.
But so what we've done here, right, is basically the essence of coding. We've created a thing or an object. We've given it a name. You could call it vector. You could call it Tassos.
Okay. Tassos equals vector, right? So
Right.
that's
And now what's Tassos going to equal?
11. Yeah.
You're good, Tassos. So that's it, right?
Better than I thought.
We create an object. We have to tell R what that object is.
Okay.
And then we can do functions to the object.
So, as far as I understand, R is what we call an object-oriented language.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we do things on things.
Exactly. That's it.
Okay. So we are going to be using R together to do some advertising research. How do we do statistical research in R? Does it do automatically everything we want it to do, or is there some other function?
Yeah. So you're right. You have to create an object, and you could use a data file like the ones we've got on Moodle for this course.
So data file is an object then?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. If something is not an object, it will tell you because you're getting an error message.
Yeah.
And that might just mean formatting it a different way, changing how you tell R what the object is.
Okay.
Normally it can pick up what an object is if you just
Okay.
give it a file. And then when you want to do things to it, there are some things which are built into R, some functions.
Some basic functions.
Yeah,
I'm
and
assuming.
You'll find some of them are actually kind of higher level,
Okay.
you know, the kinds of statistics that our
Yeah.
students and us as researchers would use
Okay.
regularly. But then there'll be some which aren't built into R and you have to add on,
Okay.
and they're called packages.
Okay.
There's various ways to work with packages. If you see at the top here, there's a.
Oh, right.
You can do it by clicking on things.
By click
So you could click install a package. You can update a package if there's a new version of it.
Yeah.
R has a specific way of installing and loading those packages, or think of them just as bits of software, little add-ons that people have written. So actually there's one that I need to do now, so let's do it. So all you have to do is say packages, install, and then you tell it what package is
The
called.
name of the package, yeah.
So again, this is one where the documentation is great. If you know what the package is called, or you know, you go on to a search engine and you type R package for content analysis, then look, somebody here has written some documentation about this R package that they've created called RDQA, which is a qualitative data analysis tool. So if you wanted to download that, you would just type RDQA into those brackets, if that's the name of it.
What package is the one we're going to be using more?
So we're going to use one called Psych a lot in these videos, which is developed because it's mainly used in psychology for psychometric tests. And you'll find often the names are like people trying to be clever and put R in front of the names or have R in them. But all you have to do if you want to install Psych is type the name of it in quotation marks. That's the really important thing. So the one I want to just quickly try and do is called Semplot, and let's see what happens when I try to install it. What? It's almost as if I did this on purpose, Tassos. If you do something wrong in R, it will just tell you you've done it wrong. So what it's done there is it said, I couldn't find a function called packages.install. And that is because I think I got it the wrong way around. So if we now type install packages. There you go. So then
now what happens?
This is a bit which I got really confused by when I first tried doing things. Essentially, perhaps the best way to think of this is the people that run R have a series of hosts or server computers where packages, software, code is stored
across the world.
Across the whole world, yeah. Mainly these are associated with universities, I think, although not always. So the advice is just scroll through the list and find the one closest to you.
Okay.
I don't know why it needs to be close to you, but that's what I was told.
Yeah.
So we're in the UK, so we pick Bristol or London.
Yeah.
And then once you click OK, your version of R is going to go and talk to that server and say, give me this package.
Okay.
So there you go. Now here, we've got an error message because I've typed it wrong.
Okay. So, right.
So now...
So it needs a capital P then.
Try it again.
Right. Okay, and it's now installing.
Yeah.
Cool. This seems quite easy.
Well, it is until you go wrong, that's the problem. But fortunately with R, because it's used by so many researchers at universities who have the time to fix things, if there is a problem, normally somebody solved it for you, so it might just be a question of doing some Googling or speaking to a colleague.
Okay.
So this is going to take a few seconds to sort itself out, I think, because it's got quite a lot of things that it wants to load as well. So we'll just leave that and maybe pick it up.
Yeah.
With Psych in the next video.
Yeah, so now you've seen what R is and what it can do and how you can load a simple package or how you can create a simple object. So go to the R website, download R and start playing around.
Oh, well, perfect timing as well, it's just finished. Which probably allows us, right, before we just finish.
Yeah.
So let's say we've now installed our package, so I would say for our class, if they go and install Psych, spelled like that.
Yeah.
If you now want to start using it, you then have to tell R to load that package.
Okay.
So we've downloaded a copy, but it's not now got it ready to use. In order to make it ready to use, we just have to say library, and then the name of the library.
Okay.
But in this case, no quotation marks.
Right.
And this is probably the most difficult thing about R, because it's open source and different people write different things. Different people have different preferences.
Right. Okay.
So somebody that wrote this library function
doesn't
like quotation marks, but the person that did the packages install did like them.
Okay.
And there's most likely some really complicated reason why that is the case.
Okay.
But you just have to be appreciative of these little nuances and play around with things a little bit. So once we press this, our computer is now going to be loading that package.
Yeah.
And it's given us a warning message to say that the version was built in a newer version that I've got.
Okay.
That's all. So we can still use it, and we can do the same like if we want to for Psych, because I already have it installed.
Okay.
And it's ready to use.
So you first install a package, and then you load it via the library command.
Exactly.
And then everything is ready to use.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
See you in the next video.